Okay, we'll get started in just a few seconds. We'll let folks join us. We are recording and we will be sharing this with the membership at large as well. Okay, we'll get started as folks continue to join us. So good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank our series sponsor, the Job Gym. They've been a great partner to us over the years for all of our employment and trading needs. Just a great partner to have. I'd like to introduce Vanya Lombardi from the Job Gym to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. I am actually here today representing my colleague Amanda, so I'm actually quite honored. I've never done this before. So let me share with you a little bit about Job Gym. So basically, our location is in Welland, and we support individuals in our community that are seeking job or employment related supports. We do this through running a series of, again, employment related workshops. We sponsor and coordinate job fairs. So, for example, yesterday we partnered with Seaway Mall, who had an event for job seekers who wanted assistance with building their LinkedIn or having someone review it, interview skills. They had opportunity to have makeup to dress for success and have their portrait taken for their a professional portrait taken for their LinkedIn profiles. So those are just a touch of that's just an example of what we do. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to listening to what you all have to say today.
Thank you, Vanya. That's fantastic. So today we welcome back Lani Lirio. She's the owner of Bright Mango Consulting. Her years of experience have established her as an expert in the areas of new and emerging leaders, building better teams, self-awareness and personal effectiveness, public speaking, and coaching for clarity. She's a regular at our morning coffee clubs, and we're very happy to have her with us today. The format for our session is going to be as follows. You can submit your questions throughout the presentation through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We'll address all of the questions at the end of the presentation, so pretty simple. So at this time, it's my pleasure to turn things over to Lani.
Thank you, Dolores, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to be here again. And thank you to the South Niagara Chamber of Commerce for always giving me an opportunity to speak to its members. As Dolores mentioned, I am from Bright Mango Consulting, but recently I've partnered with Trusted Time as their training arm. And together we align HR strategy and people development so organizations can thrive. And today is about you. So our title for our lunch and learn is Leading from Within, Mastering the Art of Self-Leadership. So we're going to look at this very important concept. So whether you're a business owner, a team leader, or an individual contributor looking to take more control of your personal development, then self-leadership is one of the foundations for success. Okay. So this program, Leading from Within, is actually part of what I'm going to share with you, is a part of a bigger program that I offer to organizations. But today, I'll just share with you a taste of it. So understanding what self-leadership is. So let's do a quick self-reflection. What's your story? I want you to think about a time when you took initiative in your personal or professional life. And as you reflect, I want you to answer these questions in your head or probably in the chat if you have access to it. So what motivated you to do it? What motivated you to take the initiative? What was the outcome? And what did you learn from that experience? So just pause for a minute or so and think about your responses to those questions? All right. So when we take initiative or we step up in those ways, like whether at work or in our personal lives, we're actually practicing self-leadership. And as the author of the 1 Minute Manager says, Ken Blanchard, he highlights in his book that self-leadership starts with taking responsibility for your actions and career growth. So no one is in charge of that but you. It's not about waiting for someone else to push you. It's about creating that momentum on your own. And self-leadership is that ability to lead yourself, to set goals, to stay motivated, and to hold yourself accountable. It is really about you taking charge of your own personal and professional development. Now, why does this matter? Why does self-leadership matter? There are several benefits. If you look at it, if you work with someone who takes responsibility for his or her action, don't you want to work more with that individual? Because self-leadership is number one, again, taking responsibility for your action. So it's proactive problem solving, if you will. So instead of waiting, self-leaders anticipate issues and act early. You also make intentional choices. You're able to commit to your own growth. So if you look at it, there are three powerful ways, really. Proactive problem solving, adaptability in change. And as we know, things are moving quickly. You know, there's AI, there's a new tool, new tech. How do we keep up with the time? So when we have self-leadership, we're able to adapt when change happens. We're able to be agile. We can adjust quickly. We stay resilient. And we also thrive through uncertainty. And lastly, why does this matter in the workplace or probably in your own businesses? By setting goals, you're able to manage your time. You're able to weed out the distractions. You're able to weed out busy work because you know that busy work does not contribute to that goal that you've set for yourself or for your business. So in essence, you bring stronger relationships and deliver better results. I love this. I love this one, that self-leadership can truly transform both individual career and the entire organization. It's about empowerment. When we lead ourselves effectively, we're better equipped to lead others and make a real impact. Okay. So who is a self-leader? A self-leader possesses three things. Again, it's not a trait, it's a skill, meaning it's something that can be developed. So let's look at each one in detail. Okay. The first one that I like to focus on is self-awareness. Then we'll talk about self-motivation and then self-accountability. Okay, let's look at this one. Self-awareness. Dolores, if I may ask, they cannot raise their hands or put messages in the chat. They can't do that,
Yes,
right?
they can. Yes, they can.
Oh, they can. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay. How many of you feel or know that they're self-aware, that they have self-awareness? And what is the self-awareness? You understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your blind spots. You understand what irks you, what stresses you out, what motivates you. You know your triggers. You are also aware of how you impact others. So according to Daniel Goleman, who is like the father of emotional intelligence, self-awareness is the foundation of personal and professional success. Okay. And how do we start? There's so many tools to do that. Again, I'm after tools and systems, but like any other tool, if we don't use the tool, it remains a tool. what my analogy here is, like, my husband loves like tools, like drills, like Home Depot stuff. I can't even tell what they are, but he loves them. But if it remains in the toolbox and you don't use it, then it's not doing its purpose or function. So again, tool is just a tool, but how we use it makes a difference. And I like to share with you one self-awareness tool that I really like using. So one of the best tools, I believe, in my opinion, and really in my experience on how it has helped people, is the DISC model. Because knowing our style helps us lead ourselves better. And for those of you who've attended a lunch and learn in the past with the chamber, I talked about this in detail. Okay, Francois, I like that. Self-awareness is confidence. Because when we're self-aware, we know our strengths, we know our skills, but we also know our blind spots. And if we're confident, we can say, yes, I need work on that. I need help on that. Those are my blind spots. So thank you, Francois. So going back here, knowing our style helps us lead ourselves better. So with the DISC model, it shows that each style has a strength and areas for growth. No style is better than the other. That's not what this is. It's not meant to put people in boxes or to pigeonhole people. This tool is really meant for self-awareness. So let's do a quick reflection. Which DISC style do you relate to the most? Are you more direct or firm? Are you strong-willed? Are you forceful, meaning headstrong? Are you results-oriented? Do you have the I style? Are you outgoing, enthusiastic? Do you like being with people? Are you lively? Do you have are you high-spirited? Do you have the S style? Are you even-tempered? Do you like accommodating people? Do you like to be that helping hand, that listening ear? Or do you have the C style? Are you analytical? Do you love spreadsheets and checklists? Are you precise? Are you private? Are you systematic? So these styles, the DISC model helps with that self-awareness because it will help you know your strengths. Yep, I'm results-oriented, but you may realize I can be impatient with people who don't give me the results that I want. So that's where that self-awareness comes in. Okay. Brianne, yes, you can be a D and an I because think of it of the DISC model as a color wheel, meaning I myself, I'm an ID, like my dot. So when I give this assessments, you have a dot, and my dot is literally on that line between I and D, meaning I like being with people, but I'm very results oriented. Okay. Where my area or my weakness is I have to be more detail oriented. So again, that's that awareness. I realize that I cannot just be results oriented without really looking at systems and tools or checklists. So for me, that is my self-awareness. Okay. And then I also know that people may not have the same timing as I have. I want things done now, but for others, now is not clear. Maybe their now is 2 weeks from now or a month from now. So I've learned that now is not clear. Okay, I want it now, but if I were to lead myself, I have to make it concrete. What do I mean by now? Okay, so knowing your strengths and weaknesses will, and again, blind spots, self-awareness also helps you understand how you impact others. So for example, again, let's do this quick self-awareness exercise. Do you take charge? Do you make quick decisions, but may overlook collaboration? Because again, you want things done now. Or are you the type who energizes teams that are great at motivating people, but may need more focus? Because there's so many ideas there. You're so, again, there are so many things and you want to be in all of those things. Maybe that's where you need more focus. Or do you like supporting others, but may avoid conflict or may have a hard time saying no to people? As a result, you may feel overworked or overburdened. Do you value details and logic, but may struggle with flexibility? So again, the DISC model helps a lot with self-awareness. Okay. Now let's look at self-motivation. I was listening to a podcast by Mel Robbins. Actually, if you listen to her or you follow her, I follow her. And she has an episode that says motivation is garbage. And when I heard that, like, okay, hold on, what does she mean by that? And I realized that, yeah, motivation is not something that comes from outside. Okay, it comes from within. And what is it? It is the ability to stay driven in spite of the things that are happening. And this is where that for business owners or for leaders, there might be times when you feel like, oh, I don't have motivation to do this. Okay? But if we wait for motivation to happen, we may not be able to get things done. And that's what she was saying about motivation is garbage. Because for motivation to happen, action must take place first, and then motivation follows, and not the other way around. And when I heard that, that sounds a lot like self-leadership, because it comes from your own autonomy. It stems from your own purpose. I don't like to do this, or I don't feel like doing this. I'm not motivated. But why am I doing this? So you're doing things even if you're not motivated. And that is where, again, that's self-motivation, the ability to stay driven. It keeps you going when no one is watching. It keeps you going when no one's having those checks and balances, because you know that it comes from a bigger purpose. Okay? And Daniel Pink, the author of Drive, mentioned that as well. So self-motivation is really a skill. It's not a personal trait. So when people say like, wow, you're so motivated, there are times that I don't feel like motivated, but I push myself to be motivated. Looking at the whys, the purpose, why am I doing this? Okay. So self-motivation, again, is what keeps you going when no one's watching. It's the difference between waiting for someone to push you or taking the initiative yourself. So I want you to think of a time, and I'll share this, when I guess you went over and beyond something. Or maybe the question, maybe I'll change this. Think about a time where you didn't feel motivated, but you did it anyway. You didn't have that motivation, you feel blah, but you did it anyway. What drove you to do it? Again, feel free to put your responses in the chat. Or maybe it's a question that you'd like to ponder on. Okay, was there a time, maybe in the workplace or in your own business or you're in your own personal life, that you're not motivated, but you did it anyway? Because once when you did that action, you are actually practicing self-motivation. And I'll give you some strategies for self-motivation. Okay. So it's connecting to your why or connecting to your purpose. if why sounds too deep, but what's your purpose? What's the intent? What's the reason behind it? Because knowing your why, knowing why you have to do something makes it easier to stay motivated. Okay. Again, it's hard, but you know you have to do this because it's assigned or aligned to a goal or to a bigger purpose. So let's look at this one. Instead of saying, I have to do this report. I have to do this report, or I have to do this audit, or I have to give this feedback. Okay. So instead of saying I have to do this report, we changed the language to finishing this report helps my team succeed. Or finishing this report shows transparency and it will help us do the next steps. So again, reframing it can help us with self-motivation. Okay. Next, you may want to break it down. I was coaching a business owner last Monday, and her problem was procrastination. And she was telling me she didn't have energy to do anything. So I challenged her to break down whatever big goal that is so that she doesn't feel overwhelmed. Now, her style, she has a CD style. So to your point, Brianne, can you be a DI? Yes, you can. We are a combination of styles. It's just that we lean towards one style over the others. So she has this CD style. She wants everything perfect. She wants it logical. She wants everything perfect so that she can deliver good results. But what's happening there is because she feels overwhelmed and the goal seems so large, she lost motivation. And what we did was we broke it down into small wins so because those small wins can help in building momentum. So instead of saying, I need to improve my leadership skills, I'm not really good at it. Okay, leadership is so broad, but just look at an area that you need to work on that's doable, say, in a day or in a week. So maybe it can be reframing. I'll start by leading one small meeting this week, or I'll start by having this conversation with an employee who needs to hear some tough feedback. Okay, so it makes it more concrete. The next strategy is setting up accountability. Because self-motivation doesn't mean doing it alone. And if you're a solopreneur, or if you're a small business and you really don't have other managers to bounce off ideas with, having a structure helps. And this is where a mentor, again, if you don't have a colleague, like a mentor probably would help, a coach would help, so you may feel more committed to follow through. Okay. Any questions with those self-motivation strategies, or any thoughts about it? Okay, I'm just checking the chat. Oh, Sally Jane. Sometimes it's as simple as survival. And if you look at, I'm not sure if you're like, is this as relates to your business? And that survival, like if you look at like, okay, this is for survival, but if I have a cadence of doing this, okay, then yes, maybe I'll not just survive, but I'll thrive. So it may start as survival, but before you know it, you're developing those skills. Remember, it's not a trait, it's a skill. Then from surviving to thriving. Oh, Francois, Here, motivate myself because I see difficult as a challenge. Wow, reframing is there. You're reframing it already as opposed to it's difficult, I don't want to do it. But it's like a reframing that, hey, it's difficult, it's challenge. I have a good chance of solving this one. And there's okay, I love this. And there's great satisfaction at succeed. Okay, perfect. Again, nothing worthwhile comes easy. And I can see in your comment, Francois, that yeah, it's that difficult that builds that muscle. It's that difficult because once you've achieved that particular goal and you've succeeded, there's satisfaction. And succeed can be, it doesn't mean that you did everything perfect, but you may have lessons along the way that helped you become a better owner, a better leader, a better individual overall. Perfect. Love it. And thank you, Sally Jane, for your comment. Okay. How to reignite this self-motivation. Again, it's not something that someone will ignite for you. You have to do it yourself. Okay. Because motivation is garbage. Motivation will only work if we start acting on it. It's that building of momentum. So think about it. What's a work-related goal that you've struggled to stay motivated with? Maybe it's something that you put in the parking lot, or it's something that you move in your calendar, like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. Okay. What is that? Okay. Why is this important to you? So if it's like, oh, I don't want to do this, but what is your why? What is the motivation strategy that you're doing? Okay, Chris, Chris has a comment here. Self-motivation also results in possible positive outcomes and wins that are yet to be seen that may open new doors and opportunities. Yes, I like this because they're looking at the possibility. You might think, oh, I'd rather not do this because I might fail, or it's not a good outcome. But think about this. If you don't do it, you have 0% chance of knowing that there's a good outcome. But if you do it, there's a 50% chance that you'll have a positive outcome. Does that make sense? If you don't do it, it's like, oh, I'd rather not do it because it may not work, then you have 0% chance. But if you put an action, if you act on it, the chances of getting that positive outcome increases. And I love this, Chris. Wins that are yet to be seen. If you have the D style, results right away. You think it's cause and effect. This should happen. And this is where, that's why it's important to know your style, because that style, your style may make you lose motivation. If you say, I did everything I can, but nothing's happening, I give up. And think about it. Are you results oriented? Is it because you're not seeing results that you're giving up? Or is it because there's something wrong with the system or with the process? Or is it something that you need to change your approach? So that is where that self-awareness would come in. Okay. So going back here, how do you reignite your self-motivation? You may or may not share it in the chat. Okay, what is that work-related goal or professional goal or personal goal that you struggle to keep motivated with? What is that? And for whatever reason that is, or for whatever that goal is, attach it with a why. Why do you want it done? What's the reason? Because if the why is not compelling enough, or there's no reason for you to really do it, then maybe you're chasing the wrong goal. Okay. But if you figure it out, like, okay, why did I do this in the first place? Or why did I choose this goal in the first place? Whether it's developing your leadership skills or developing your public speaking skills or having a difficult conversation. What is the why behind it? And then think about the motivation strategy. Is it small steps? Is it accountability? Someone who will just say to you, you know what, just do it. You've prepared enough, jump, do it. Okay. What is this motivation strategy that can help you follow through? Okay. So self-motivation is not just about waiting for inspiration. It's about taking action, even when it's hard. Okay? Taking action is the biggest thing to remember here when it comes to self-motivation. Okay? Any questions or comments again, feel free to put them in the chat. Okay? Next, self-accountability. Okay? I myself, again, my style as an ID, I find it hard working alone. I need someone to bounce off ideas. So I myself, I have my own coach to help me. So coaches have coaches too. If my coach is not available, I talk to peers in the industry or colleagues or really good friends. But self-accountability, bottom line is I may have a coach, I may have a peer or a mentor, but it still boils down to me. Okay. What am I willing to take responsibility? What like am I willing to take responsibility for my actions and decisions? So that's where that self-accountability comes into play. Oh, yes, Francois. Thank you for your engagement, Francois. Did I say your name correctly, Francois? I hope I did. Yes, it's our goal. It's our like your vision, your mission. Like, why am I doing this? Where am I heading? Otherwise, I'm just freewheeling and really don't know what my purpose is. Good. So self-accountability is taking responsibility for our actions and decisions. But not everyone approaches accountability the same way. Our natural disc style affects how we react to mistakes, feedback, and even ownership. Again, accountability can be difficult for others, yet easier for some. And again, it relates back to our own style. Okay. So I'd like, again, to think of a recent situation where you had to take accountability. Was it hard? Was it easy? Were you like pounding yourself like, I shouldn't have done that? Or were you willing to say, yes, I did a mistake. I made a mistake and I'm willing to correct it. So let me show you some typical responses according to your style. So let's again, accountability is taking ownership for your actions and decisions. If you have the D style again, results oriented, okay, let's get it done. Does this sound like accountability to you? Okay, it won't happen again. Let's move forward. So that's good because owns the mistake quickly, but may not acknowledge the impact. Okay. Then somebody with an I style or influence style. Oh, I'm sorry. I got caught up in another project. I'm so sorry. I promise it won't happen again. Good, taking responsibility, but may not focus on details. See what it is? So here it's really about action. It's not enough that we say sorry, but what is the action after? Okay. The S style or steadiness style. Oh, I didn't want to let the team down. I should have asked for help sooner. They may take the blame, even if others were involved. So again, the S styles, they have a very kind heart, like listening ear, willing to help out. But the thing here is like they may take the blame. With the S style, like you may take the blame, even if it wasn't your fault. And the C style is, well, I should have managed my time better. I analyzed what went wrong, and here's a detailed plan to fix it. Okay, that's great. This person has action, very thorough, but may take so much time overthinking and analyzing instead of acting. So how can we improve self-accountability if you fall in any of these styles? Okay. If you have the D style, again, acknowledge the impact on others. Instead of, hey, let's move on, let's forget about that. Maybe it can be, again, that accountability. I've seen how this decision or how my actions impacted the team. Here's my plan to fix it. Okay. For an I style, it's following through with actions and not just words. So instead of saying, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, it can be giving them a plan on how to prevent this from happening in the future. Somebody with an S style is own your part without over apologizing. As Canadians, we love saying sorry all the time. But over apologizing will not help. Instead of saying, oh, I didn't want to let the team down, you could say, like, here's what I could have done differently, and here's how I will adjust. So putting in a little more assertiveness there. And for the C style, balance reflection with action. Instead of analyzing what really went wrong, so instead of being in the analysis paralysis mode, say that you've identified the issue and here's the plan to address it, and here's when I can take action. So if you look at this one, yes, it improves. This is strategies on how to improve self-accountability. But if you look at it, it's really getting some of the traits of other styles so you can be better. Okay, so that's part of the DISC assessment, the DISC style, knowing your style and knowing the style of others. So you can really see, it's like getting the best of both worlds, if you will. Okay, so that's one tool. Again, I told you I love tools, but if tools are not used, they remain as tools in your toolkit. Okay, we really can't do anything, or we cannot improve if we don't use those tools. A hammer remains a hammer in the toolkit and won't do its function unless someone actually uses it. Okay, same thing. This is a tool. It remains a tool. Okay, it's enough. It's good that I have self-awareness, but what will I do with it? And that is where the motivation, self-motivation, and self-accountability comes into play. Another tool that I love doing is the SWOT analysis. Okay. I love sharing this because I have my own SWOT analysis. It's just on a piece of paper, and it's a goose paper, even like good on one side. It's not even perfect piece of paper. I did this in 2020 and it's still here in my office. I post it on the wall because I really took the time to do a SWOT analysis of myself. If you are in business, you probably do SWOT. What is SWOT? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to your business. But for self-leadership, again, we can definitely use this tool. And I have it. It's not in good paper, but I can't let go of it because it is a reminder for me. And I can even say, oh, okay, yeah, these are my strengths. Oh, what do I need to work on? Oh, self-doubt. Oh, yeah, I need to work on this. Oh, lack of focus. Yeah, I really do have to work on this. What are my threats? Oh, too much time on LinkedIn. Yeah, that leads to that self-doubt. Maybe I should minimize my time on LinkedIn. So that is where that SWOT analysis tool can help you with self-leadership. Because if you look at this, again, from a leadership perspective, it says, what leadership qualities do I already have? You can change leadership qualities to, what are my strengths? What am I great at? What are the things that I can do very well? Okay. If you change the word leadership there to strengths, okay. Weaknesses. What holds me back from leading myself effectively? Okay. And then what are the opportunities? What areas can I grow as a self-leader? Is it self-awareness? Is it self-motivation? Is it accountability? Or is there another one? Is it because I don't have tools? Okay. And then the threats. What external challenges make self-leadership difficult for me? Okay. So again, self-leadership isn't just about mindset, but there's mindset is part of it. Remember when we reframed those sentences to I have to what can I do differently? Okay. So it's not just about mindset, but it's also having a framework. It's about being intentional. Again, self leadership is not just about mindset, it's about being intentional. This tool, the SWOT analysis, you can start with this. You can start with a DISC assessment of yourself because this framework gives you a clear map of where you want to focus your energy. And it makes accountability concrete. A tool is just a tool. Your personal SWOT analysis is just the beginning. It is a tool to help you lead yourself with clarity and with confidence. All right. So before we end this, do you have any questions or comments? None? Okay. So if you like support in bringing this deeper into your team or organizations, or if you just want to keep the conversation going, or if you want to say, hey, Lanny, can I have coffee with you? I really want to talk more about it. My email is there. My phone number is there. I have a QR code there. I am open to having coffee with people I meet, whether virtually or in person. Okay. Because I really believe that self-leadership is where growth begins. We're out of the victim mentality, but a victor mentality. Okay. That I have the in me to really develop self-leadership skills. Sorry, because when we lead from within, we empower others, we create stronger workplaces. Okay, so again, if you're interested or curious how you can bring this to your workplace or in your own personal or professional life, I'd love to chat with you and keep the momentum going.
That's great. Thank you so much, Lanny, for that presentation. You really re-energized me. I actually do have a question. And so is it possible to guide or motivate someone to self-leadership?
Yeah, I would say yes, because I've been doing that with people I work with and guiding. As I said, people may say like that's contradictory, like you say self-leadership, and then why am I getting someone to help me with it? There's a framework, right? What entails self-leadership? Self-accountability is where, as I mentioned there, it can be a tool. Like, how can you be self-accountable? You can have tools. You have resource, again, the DISC style, the SWOT analysis, maybe the Eisenhower matrix. Or it can be, in my case, I have my own coach. I don't meet with that coach every day, but just to check in. Because sometimes we can be so immersed in ourselves that we just need someone to help us with that accountability. So really in coaching, I'm not just coaching, but it's really an accountability partner. But it's not the goal that I've set for my client, but it's helping my client reach for the goal that they've set for themselves.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
hope that's clear. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, it's great. Like lots of great comments that we've received. Such an energizing session. I'm sure we'll have you back, and of course our members come and meet you at the coffee clubs because you are a regular there. We're always so happy to see you. Thank you, Lanny, so much for such a terrific session again. Our next session, our next Lunch and Learn takes place on October 21st. The topic's going to be how to unlock financial rebates for your small business. You can register for that session today by visiting our website at southniagaracc.com. Also a reminder that this Thursday, we will be hosting a coffee club. It'll be at Camiso's in Niagara Falls. They're going to be providing us with a full breakfast. So they have a menu change, and we're going to be able to check out some of their new breakfast options. So that'll be great. 8:30 to 9:30 this Thursday. I hope you can join us. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.